Okay, today is our next practical lesson, and we will calculate task 2.2. Now I share in my screen, and we could see information about this task. Okay, it is practical lesson number 9, and task 2.2. It is about selection of a transport service provider by hierarchy analysis. We used a new method. We already find the same task, but we use Ball's method when we find the best position and put 10 balls, for example, because we have 10 suppliers and other position less, and to one balls in result. So today it will be task 2.2 and first part, because it is very big task, we will do only first task on this lesson. It is 2.2.1. And the topic of this part of task, it is assessment of the weight of factors. So we will find all our factors. Every variant has six factors, and we will calculate it weight of these factors. Different intermediates may offer different terms of supplies, of course, and we used the same information for all our variants. It is characteristic suppliers. We already used this table before. It is the same table, and we will find which position we need for calculation. Also, we used already this table 2.2 with weight of every factor, and we could remember that every variant has only 6 factors from 15. So we used the same factors with their weights. We need to read information about this new method and hierarchy analysis method, and understand how it works and what is the methodics of this calculation. And after it, we will calculate it and prepare special table and find weights of factors. So the disadvantage of the point method can be largely corrected using the hierarchy analysis method. If we use abbreviation first by first letters, it will be HAM, which has several modifications. This method is becoming more and more widespread in logistics when it comes to choose suppliers, carriers, various schemes for the movement of goods, areas for warehouse, etc. So it could be useful for different choosings when we need to choose something and need to use special technology. When using it, decision-making is based on the assessment of large, far from always unambiguous information. So the scale of the method is based on the ability of a person to make quantitative distinction between leaf definitions, equal, weak, strong, very strong, and absolute. If a greater account is required, compromise decision can be made between the listing definition. So please now look this table and find every position for definition and with the explanation. You could find and look it. So after learning this information, you could understand that we have a different score for different position. For example, if factors is equivalent, so we used score 1. If it is marginal advantage, we use score 3. Or if it is between this position, we use score 2. For example, and we have example with different understanding for different factors and how we could to think about it. But it is not only our opinion when we find different factors and choose one of them, the best or something else. We all calculate it and has this information. So it is a really mathematical method and we need to use it. It is proposed to determine the assessment after calculation the value of the supervis of one factor on another factor according to special annex E. And we use this formula when it is the value of the advantage of the factor f with index E over factor f with index J. So we find, for example, factor 1 and factor 2, and we need to find this meaning and calculate it how we could use it in future. So, in the factor E, for example, is assigned one of the above value is compared with factors the yacht. When the factor yacht is assigned an invariance value 1 divided value, compare it to I. If there is an integer value about the diagonal, then its advantage value is under the diagonal. So we need to think about it. That is, if one factor has a score of 9, for example, it is absolute advantage, then the other has 1 divided 9 or 0.11. The factor is insignificant and etc. So we could find this information determination of the assessment of the value factor is carried out in a tabular form similar to the example given in Appendix E. So we need to use table E.2 and understand what is meaning when we find this meaning of it. For example, if we divided ratio factor 1 on ratio factor 2 and find this meaning, for example, from or more 5.1 more this meaning, we could think that it is absolute advantage factor 1 on factor 9, and we could put factor 1 score 9, and for other factor 1, for example, we could put 0.11. So we calculated it and find in this table this meaning. So, of course, it is not our opinion, we calculated everything. So we use this table in our future calculation and preparing for this understanding which factor is how it depends from other factors and how it difference between them. Now we need to do the same table as E.2. It is example of calculation for assessment of H factors. We also use the first column. It is factors. We could write only F1, F2, F4, and to F6. The other line, it will Elmont as with index yacht, we could use the same. And by here, it is first line, also factors, the same factors from 1 to 6, and 3 ending columns. It is for every variant the same. It is multiplication summary, it is degree and factor wedge. What we need to find on these lessons, we need to find a last column with factor wedge. It is our decision on these lessons. It is the result, and the sums of these all factors will be 1. It is we choose each and understand that all calculation was correct and we do all right. After this table, we will continue and also understanding and also check how much we need to use this meaning. For example, we have had has formulas for this all calculation, and we could control in the end this three last formulas. It is for controlling system that we could choose. It is really a good calculation, or maybe something we need to correct after each. So now, please, I leave this example for calculation, and you could to do the same table in your paper, for example, or electronic document, what we use today. You prepare the same table with the same columns and line. You could write here factors only, numeration factors, F1, F2, and other. Without name factors, I think it will be enough. You could use the three last column also only abbreviation without all this text. And this meaning will be individual for your variant. Now, no, we couldn't write each. I stop sharing, stop recording at this moment because you need time, and we stopped it.